What is it for? My missus thinks I cheated on her last week. She's doing my head in, so I need to like give her some cash and a necklace. She doesn't like flowers, she just likes designer handbags and
I'm there.
no worries. I don't know why it's important for the bank to know. It's money.
I have to ask.
There's a bleaching package, and yeah, they say you can make it up to 3 shades lighter. Drugs,
Well,
the devil's lettuce, you would know.
that's what you want me to put, John Bernard?
I don't deal it personally. I just connect people together.
Whatever you do, it's your business.
What's the money for?
Yeah.
Does it matter?
We need to ask customer why.
I need it for steroids. Summer's coming up, Stereosonic festivals. I need a shred for summer. I mean, if you must know, I'm transitioning to be a woman, so I have to pay for the surgery. It's an expensive surgery. It's not covered on the Medicare. Can't I just take out my money?
No, we won't be able to do the money out today.
You need to buy her what, sorry?
I need to buy my girlfriend a new set of She's thinking D's or E's. I said C's are fine. What do you reckon, C's are fine?
I don't know.
I'm just leaving my wife.
Oh.
We're getting a divorce, it's a bit messy. I don't want her to have any of my assets, she's not getting any of my cash. It's for penis enlargement surgery. So it's a pretty serious procedure. I'm not really confident in my package, I'm sure you'd know. So I just need the cash.
I got a sick gambling addiction.
So that's why you want to block the money?
Yeah. The money's probably going to go straight in the machines.
I want to donate it to Ukraine. Yeah. So you're actually costing those people money if I don't get the cash.
Yeah.
Hey everybody and welcome to Studio 64. My name's David. I've been searching the interzones for some more science, space and tech news to share with you. And I came across this. That's 7 News in Australia. Yes, cash withdrawals are up, but is Australia still headed towards being cashless? Yeah, whether you agree with it or not, we are being forced into a cashless society. Fascinating, isn't it? Now, in Australia, 2 in 5 people reported being extremely concerned about the disappearance of cash. Now, while one Australian bank has gone cashless at its branches, that's Macquarie Bank, recent data shows cash withdrawals have increased at least 3%, which some say is a reason for other banks not to follow suit. Now, beginning May 20th, Macquarie Bank customers will not be able to access over-the-counter cash transactions. Over the next few months, the bank will end all cheque transactions. Customers will still be able to withdraw cash from ATMs across Australia and overseas without a fee. Very, very interesting. Did a video on that. It's as I say. Whether you support it or not, that's where we're headed. It's a hard, definite yes. It's interesting. Cash Welcome campaigner Jason Bryce said Australians were being fettered against their will into a cashless society because banks didn't want to bear the costs, but Australians still wanted to use cash. Yeah, it's interesting. My personal bank, which will remain nameless, did operate on Saturday mornings, but they're not getting the foot traffic that they once were. So I can understand why they no longer open on Saturday mornings. That's a fair point. But can you do us a favour and make your ATMs enable you to deposit cash? No, apparently not. It's interesting. He pointed to Reserve Bank of Australia data that showed Australians made 30,859,700 ATM cash withdrawals in February, up 3.6% compared with February of 2023. The previous month, there were 30.2 million ATM withdrawals worth more than $9 billion, the highest collective sum since July of 2020. Yeah, it's all about control over your money. That's literally what it's about. So if you take, there's a certain anonymity, I can't even speak, my brain's operating on half of Biden today. There's a certain anonymity with using cash. And the people who are against cash will say it's a safety issue. We need to be able to track terrorisms and money laundering criminalizers and all this sort of stuff. And that's fair and understandable, I get it. But you're also sweeping, putting out there a wide net, and you're catching innocent people who just want to use cash. Now, I believe the Commonwealth Bank in Australia, if you go and withdraw cash from your account in a certain amount, they ask you, what are you taking cash out for? And they'll make out like it's security. Why don't you use a card? Why don't you do this? Why don't you use internet banking or anything else? But it is your cash. You should be able to take it out of your account and do what you want to do with it. These bloody questions are asked every 5 minutes. It's none of their business. They just simply hold the money securely for you. What you do with it is up to you. Bryce fronted the campaign Cash Out Day on April the 2nd this year, when people were encouraged to withdraw money from ATMs to signifying their continuing need to use cash. Now, APM provider Next Payments reported a 6.2% increase in cash withdrawals in the country compared to April 2023. Now, Bryce hopes more banks do not follow Macquarie's example, saying withdrawal data should give them a reason not to. Banks can't create a cashless transaction system that's 100% reliable. That's 100% private and is surcharge free, and there are things people love about cash. He said there, look, I get it. I use internet banking too. I use cash sometimes. I use everything else. But if you're in a situation like me where you don't get out of the house a great deal, you need your money in the bank and you need to be cashless to use your card. That doesn't mean I don't like cash. That simply means I don't carry a lot of cash on me. Yes, security reasons, I get all that. But there are things, I just want to go and buy lunch or something. I don't want the fee that goes with the card. I don't want any of that stuff. I simply want to get my lunch. Here, take cash. A lot of places do, a lot of places don't. It's fascinating. Will Australia go cashless? Yes, I believe we will go cashless, even if we don't want to. I think there should be a balance, and you should have the choice to use your card or use cash. It shouldn't be, this is where we're going, and you can just lump it if you don't like it. Macquarie University lecturer in anthropology, Chris Vansant Kumar, agreed there was an increase in Australians' cash hoarding based on withdrawal and RBA data. But cash was not the favoured method of doing business, with the Reserve Bank of Australia finding cash transactions dropped 13% in late 2022 from 69% in 2007, he said. Yeah, I understand that. Much easier to transfer money into a bank account, particularly with instant payment systems that we have these days. But, larger transactions with businesses, I understand. If you're doing payroll, it's you've got to have, armor guard and, whatever else you've got. You've got to have all these organisations with an armoured truck to cart that around. That I get. But if you're just an ordinary Australian wanting to go and buy some breakfast or a dinner or something, the last thing you need is questions from your bank about why you're withdrawing cash. What if you're buying a car for your 18-year-old for their first car, and it's a few $1,000s? You should be able to go and draw that few $1,000s out in cash and get a paper receipt from the person. I can't see why there's a problem. I really don't. But then again, I could be wrong. Anyone have any ideas? Drop a comment, please. It's a question of confidence for a lot of folks. People get nervous about the digital infrastructure when they see examples of it going down. That's exactly right. You should have cash there as a backup, as he says here. It's my sense that most Australians would be happy to have cash there as a backup. Leave the system the way it is now. You can use cards. If the system goes down, you can pull that 50 or that 100 out of your wallet and you're covered. How many times did we see in situations when the systems went down or there's a hacking situation for whatever reason and people have filled their cars up, they're going to pay with their card, they can't pay for the fuel. Technically, they've stolen it. They've stolen that fuel. It's fascinating, isn't it? Nothing to do with them. Not their fault, but that's just the way it is. But unfortunately, we're being pushed towards a cashless society, and I don't think we've got a choice. Vasant Kumar said there were examples in which countries went cashless too soon and met with pushback from the public. In Australia, 2 in 5 people, 41%, reported as being extremely concerned about the disappearance of cash, according to data from payment technology company Wave. A lack of trust in banking institutions and financial services, a fear of exacerbating economic inequality, and fear of rising fees are all major issues for the 1,080 Australians surveyed by the company earlier this year. Now, Vasant Kumar pointed to the example of Zimbabwe, which, after being forced to go cashless because its central bank was running out of printed money, retreated to issuing cash again after the country's mobile money service experienced a 72-hour outage in 2019. Yes, exactly. In comparison, Vasant Kumar said Australia's move towards being cashless was happening at a better pace. It will be interesting to see what will happen in the next 6 to 12 months, because I think we've seen more of a grassroots pushback in Australian society against the idea of being cashless, especially with Macquarie Bank stopping cash, and others might be following suit. Yes, Keep the balance. Have both. You know, please give me the availability to use internet banking and my card and everything else. But please don't take away the opportunity for me to use cash, because what will happen is businesses will say we don't take cash for security purposes, or if there's another pandemic, or when there's another pandemic. And the next thing you know, people will have cash out of their account and businesses won't take it, so they don't withdraw cash out of their accounts. And the banks will go, well, like our branches, where not 1% of our customers in the last year have come into a branch or some crap. What we're going to do now is get rid of the ATMs, because clearly people don't want them, because only 1% withdraw cash. So we're being forced into it, whether we like it or not. Despite the hopes of people such as Bryce that cash will always remain an option, Vasant Kumar said it's not certain that Australians will have access to cash forever. And that was not entirely because banks did not want to bear the cost. Cash mover Armaguard revealed in March it was at risk of insolvency because the plummeting use of cash meant it was unprofitable to transport money. Armaguard rejected a $26 million lifeline thrown at it by retailers and banks, saying it would work on its own financial situation. Vasant Kumar said at least for the next decade, believes cash will still be accessible, but beyond that it was uncertain. My sense would be in 10 years or 15 years, people would not be using much cash, but it would still be around. Now it's a question, how long can this distribution last? And is that going to be the thing that forces us to go cashless, even if we don't want to? Yes, we'll be forced into it, whether we don't want to. Very limited cash will be used as new generations come along, and eventually banks will say, well, it's not worth us doing it, and businesses not worth doing it, and you're going to have to pay by card anyway. Interesting. Just fascinates me. You know, whether we like it or not, it's not just about cash. It's about everything. We're directed like a funnel as a society into doing certain things, whether we like it or not. And that's the key, whether we like it or not. Who is asking us what we want? We say we want to use more cash. That's not the way it's going to end up. Fascinating, isn't it? All right, well, my name is David. Thanks for joining me for another Studio 64 Science, Space and Tech News update. I shall see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you're up for it, drop a comment down below the video, because I'd love to hear what you think. All right, take care, and as I always say, if you can't be good at it. And as I also always say,
I'll be back.